G'day guys, it's JetSimmer here today with another getting started tutorial. This will be the start of my series of getting started with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and we are sitting here in the main screen that you will have when you open up the game, and we'll go through each individual area and just to tell you a little bit about what to find and things that you may not have found and things that you may have found but didn't know that they were that useful. Well, first off, we have the world map. Obviously this is where you can create your flight plan and select an existing flight or edit a free flight. So there's a few different things you can do here. So you're greeted with the world. It looks very similar to Google Earth, and you can go ahead and find your country or airport that you like flying. So I'm going to go ahead and look for one of the places that I like to fly in, mostly around Brisbane. So it is dark, so how do we change that? We go to flight conditions and we can just go preset and change the said time. We're going to keep it on live weather, and I'll show you what that does. So I'll just change the time. There we go. So that just really changes the time. I thought it would actually change the time of the world, but that's alright. So we've changed that it is going to be daylight. So we'll just pick, let's just pick over the side so we can see something. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and pick this runway down here, and there we go. So that's how we set our departure. And if we wanted to set an arrival, we head down here to there and set an arrival. So very simple, very easy way of finding a flight plan. We can also change the flight plan to VOR to VOR, low altitude airways or high altitude airways. Now that's not going to work too much, so let's go ahead and change it to a longer. There we go. So now you can see it's quite long. So we're at low altitude airways. Let's go high altitude IFR. So now we have some more things to pick from. So we can say, okay, so that one looks like it's going to be what do we got? So we got a 338 nautical miles, 396 nautical miles. So we go this one. And 350, so it's going to give you the easiest one, the shortest one first, and then it will give you three other ones. So that's IFR conditions out there, and so that's doesn't really change it too much, does it? And the last one is VOR to VOR, which is more for VFR flight. So that is that. So that's how you can make a quick flight plan for your joyful flights. Also you have direct GPS if you wish to just follow along the line, but you don't normally do that as you probably most likely get lost, especially if you're in an aircraft that does not have a GPS of such. Other things that you can do, so this is obviously the navlog, and actually click the navlog and you can find where your cruise altitude height is, so you can actually choose your set height for your flight. So 15,000. So then it will give you the cruise and descent time for your flight. It also gives you just a bit of information on where the ground is actually going to be as well, which is pretty cool. That's a little bit high. I don't know why I did that, but that's that there. We also have how you can pick your aircraft. Okay, so you have all your aircraft that you have got there. You can break it down, or you can go ahead and search a particular one. Unfortunately, there's no favoriting an aircraft like there has been in other simulators, which hopefully will be a feature in the near future. So all your aircraft are there. Once you click on a particular aircraft, let's go to a turboprop like I have here, and if you go to liveries, you can get said liveries. Like there's a FedEx, and I don't know where that is. But yeah, we got FedEx, Afghanistan military, maybe, I don't know, and DHL Express parcel service. So that's it there. You can get deliveries offline from there's a couple of YouTube videos out there that are showing how to get liveries now, and that'll be in another one of my videos as well. Also, before you start the flight, you can set your weight and balance up. Unfortunately, it is all in pounds or gallons if you're just using the fuel. There's no kilo or ounces or anything like that that you can change. However, there's many different calculators that you can get on the internet or on the phone that will do all your conversions for your flight. So you can go ahead and set up your flight prior to getting into the aircraft, or you can set up your flight whilst in the aircraft. It also has the statistics down the bottom of your max takeoff weight, so you don't want to be overfilling your aircraft as such. Okay, so you don't want to be going and put like 50 pounds here and there and finding out that your aircraft's going to be way too full. As you can see, we're already over our max takeoff weight. But anyways, so we're way over it, can't do it. So as you can see, our CG went up there. We want the little black and white circle down the bottom here, so get rid of those and we are all good to go. Now it's back to normal. But you did see in the background a circle out here. So if I go and bring that, now you can see that circle disappearing in the background down there. That is your range. Okay, so if we fill the aircraft completely full and go cool, we'll come back there in a minute. You can see the circle. So that circle now gives you a range of how far you can go with this particular aircraft. Now if I change the aircraft selection to let's say the 787 and then go to the fuel, make sure that the fuel has quite a lot of fuel in it, and then go back. As you can see, our circle has completely changed. There's quite a lot of fuel done there. So yeah, that's we don't have the center yet, so if we go ahead and put the fuel in the center, as you can see, the 787 has increased quite considerable, and it looks like it does almost halved the world with its range of fuel right there. Now that'll all be based on how much weight you have as well in your aircraft itself. As you can see, the aircraft comes with a whole bunch of weight already given to you, so you just need to sort it out. Obviously you're not going to be taking that much in economy, maybe only 12,000. Your forward baggage will probably be maybe only 1,500 maybe. You probably have 1,800. You never know. Your flight plan might be completely different. You're definitely not going to have 3,000 kilos worth of passengers in the business class. I don't think that'd be that full. In your premium class, you probably only have around about the same as well. So maybe 3,000 for that, depending on how many passengers you've got on board. Having a look at that, you see how much fuel you've got, and what we could do is we can drop it down to, say, let's go 14,000, just like that, and we are good. Now just bringing it back out, changing it just a few bits and pieces, it has increased the line just a slight tad. So according to your flight plan, that circle is going to be pretty good right there. We also have failures that you can enable and put a timer on it, so you can test out some emergency procedures. There's quite a few: complete failure, oil system, oil leak, ignition, fire, complete failure 2, or for engine 2. So then you got all the engines. So you got engine 1, your engine 2, and that's pretty much most of the failures you're going to have. Here is where you can change your call sign, your tail number, flight number for your aircraft, whether it's heavy like a 787 or 747, or if it's just a normal thing. Whether you want to show the tail number or not, which most aircraft will have a tail number. So, for example, in Australia we have Victor Hotel and just some random 3 letters, and then your flight number could be like that. Or for Qantas it would be QFA 536. That'll be a flight number. That'll be like a call sign, also a flight number. So your flight number could be QFA, just like that. Alright, okay. So maybe flight number maybe just 534, just like that, or 536. Sorry. So that would be flight number, and then you got your call sign up the top there. So that's how you do that. So far so good. Just a little bits and pieces that you can get around with your setting up your aircraft for before you take off. So flight conditions, you have live players, all players, group only, or offline. That'll be the one that most people would use if you're going to be using VATSIM, because these aircraft will not be picked up on VATSIM and you will probably run into some problems. Live traffic, AI traffic and off. You could probably use that whilst using VATSIM. However, again, you might run into some problems where an aircraft's taxiing and you shouldn't be going that way or whatever like that. Or you can just have it off. And AI traffic, which is just aircraft everywhere in the world. You got your 3 weathers, so live weather, that will completely set the live weather. You'll have your preset weathers here, and you have your custom weather settings where you can make your own weather settings for your heart's desires. You also see up here you've got another slider. That's for time, or hit that for your computer live time. And over the past week it has actually been pretty accurate, the live time. So if you're looking for accuracy, just go live weather and you will have absolutely no problem whatsoever, and it will stay live. So that is the first menu, the world. The next menu we have is the event challenge. I'm not going to click on it because it'll go into the event, but you will get events every week to 2 weeks, and you will click on it there, and eventually we'll start earning like badges for completing events. It could be a landing challenge event for the current live event, could be a bush activity, bush flight activity, it could be a long distance flight activity later on. So we'll see what happens with the events in the future. Flight training will teach you from the earliest aircraft, the easiest aircraft of all, 152, Cessna 152. This will have a range of different missions for you to complete. So everything from basic controls to cameras to altitude and instruments, takeoffs and level flights, landing, traffic pattern, first solo navigation, and first solo navigation. There are a lot more tutorials that are a lot better than what they give you here to learn in a more realistic setting than what they give you here. These training tools here are to get you flying in the simulator. They are not to be there for real life flight, and they do a very, in my opinion, a little bit of a poor job on teaching you how to actually fly. They just kind of give you direction on how to do it, how you do it in the real world, and a little bit more training is completely different compared to the FSX training we had in the past. So hopefully this will change in the future. We don't want to quit. The next one's activities. So the first one we have landing activities, and there's 3 different landing activities, so from everything from famous to epic to strong wing activities, and we will have a look at some of these in a future video, and you can have a go and try and get yourself on the leaderboard. Also good for achievements as well if you are a completionist. We also have the bush trips. These are long distance bush trips, anything up to 8 hours. I've already completed one. They're 8-hour flights, and this one was a 7-hour and 7-minute flight. You can complete it all in one day, or when you land you can exit back out and say, well, I'm done, I'll come back to it at another time. Once you've completed them, you get a little achievement at the end. You can't change the flight conditions, and you cannot pick the aircraft. So it will give you the wind, it'll give you the aircraft, and it will give you your runways that you have to land at to find out while you're bush bashing. There is a really quick way to find your way back on track. However, if you use that, you will not get the achievement. So please try and do it without getting a quick hit. So yeah, that's that. Bottom right here is just a welcome to Flight Simulator News, and it will give you the Discord, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and a little message. There's also other information that may pop up there in the future. Alright, so next one is our profile. So you have my hangar, so all your aircraft will be in here for you to have a look at. Last time I was looking at the Cub, so here is the Cub. That was the last aircraft that I clicked on. So that is in there. You can go ahead and change your aircraft and have a look at a different one. So let's have a look at the TBM. Go back. Any liveries that you have for the TBM will show up there by pressing the F12 button. See specifications if you want to know what the speed is of the aircraft. So cruise speed 330 knots. It's a turboprop 1 engine. Maximum altitude is 31,000 feet. So it's not too bad of an aircraft. It can get up pretty high. Range, it's 17 nautical miles, or 1,730 nautical miles. Fuel capacity of 292 gallons, and so on and so forth. So very good little aircraft. It tells you a little bit about it. So that is the specification. So you can go ahead and hide that and sit there and bask in all its glory of what it looks like. You can even have a look in here if you wish, or have a look around the outside. So that is the hangar. So once you have more aircraft, you will be able to go in there and have a look. I bought the Coronado one, so that's also in there. The next one we'll have a look at real quickly is your logbook. Very straightforward. It will tell you all the different flights that you've had, what aircraft, how many times you've landed, how many times you've taken off, and how many times you've actually flown. So this one here, have no time at all. And you can also come and fly again. So if you want to go back to the exact same airfield, you can hit fly again, and it will take you straight back to that airport. So that's a good way to do it. And if you want to search for a particular airfield, you can go ahead. At the very bottom, it will have your complete total. So how many total flight time, how many totals at night, how many totals during the day, and your takeoffs. I believe the nighttime takeoffs are bugged because I have got 3 night landings, but I don't have 3 day takeoffs. So I think that is a little bugged. So that will be fixed, I'm hoping, later. And how many day landings I have as well. Now if I have a look through here, there's one. So I know I didn't have a night landing there, but I believe I did. Pretty sure I had a night landing pretty early on. Apparently not. Yeah, so I would say night landings are getting counted as days. So I've only got one night. There's a night landing there from Bath to Brisbane. So yeah, didn't even count the takeoff, but it should have counted the landing. So that's one there. let's see if we can find another one real quickly. Yeah. So yeah, it didn't take into account the takeoff at night time, so that's unfortunate. Anyways, moving on back to profile. Content manager. So this is all the content that you own, and this is how you can go ahead and delete a particular thing that you're not going to use. So if you're not going to use the SR22, you can go ahead and go bam and remove it from your game altogether. That way you're not clogging up all your your hangar with aircraft that you're never going to use. So it's a good way to go through it all. Obviously the mandatory packages have to stay there, but all the other ones you can go ahead and get rid of. Why would you want to? I don't know. Next one is your whole profile. So your profile will have all the statistics, which are a little bugged out. Every now and again I come in here and there's sometimes it's completely zero, sometimes it's filled with numbers. So that will change soon. Training, 8 out of 8. I've done all my training. I've done 1 bush trip and 7 challenges. Why it says 1 out of 626 when there's only 3 bush challenges, I don't know. I think that's a bugged out thing, but we'll see. Badges, have no clue. If anyone has any badges, please post in the comments down below on how you got those, because I don't know. Achievements, you can go ahead and complete as many achievements as you possible. How much you want to see fit. Grinding 50 hours in the rainy weather, and 1,000 hours of complete profile flight. However, these other ones didn't load properly, so. But there's a whole bunch of them. So this is my last one, Fire and Ice. And what you can do now, some people didn't do this. So if I go back to profile, you'll see that there is a lovely couple of pictures here. So what we do is we go here and go here, and we just go ahead and pick a validate. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, validate there, and click on that, validate that one. That's another cool one. Let's just put the ILS one there, and we'll do that one too. Right, so if we go back to profile, as you can see, I now have the ones that I want to show for now. Apart from next level, so up to 50 hours, I reckon the next one may be 150 hours and then 500 hours and so on and so forth, but you get wings, as you can see fit. It'll probably change over time, may get a badge, who knows. So that's that. The next one, the marketplace. Very straightforward. All the new stuff will show up on the main screen, or you can go in here and search the marketplace out for all stuff that you don't have. If you own it, it will say owned, and it will probably disappear when you go into like bundles and promotions and installed and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes it doesn't. So if I go down to aircraft, as you can see, piston, it'll show. All owned ones should be at the front, and then all the bought ones should be further on. Right, so apart from that, that is that. The next one is the options, which we'll have a separate video for that because this one's getting a little long already. So we will be moving on to a video for all 3 of these in separate instances for the next video on getting started with Microsoft 2020. However, that was the first iteration of the main menu, and I hope to see you guys soon. So give it a big thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. This is Jet Simmer signing off, and I'll see you next time. See ya.